A warm welcome to you all at home for today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama, and where a fourth-row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as pole position, with Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez finishing third from there in 2017 and 2018 respectively. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Massa, Russell, Lando Norris and Albon, Pierce, Coulthard, Hadjar and Mark Webber, Aaron, Behrman, Jack Doohan and Piastri, Barnard, Sonoda, Lance Stroll and Victor Martins, Tanitsa, Vershaw, Crawford and Tim Tramnitz rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check, okay. Sorry, mate.
The checkered flag is out and the top step of the podium waits.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
It's what they've all been racing towards, waiting for them. High above the pit lane is our podium. And for the lucky 3, it's time to stand on it. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Great news. They've accepted that contract and signed on the dotted line. We should celebrate. And make sure we figure out how to stop any leaks about it. Nice work getting this one over the line.
Sorry to disturb. Need you for a moment, please, boss?
Hi. Notice we've got some spare cash reserves. Obviously, I know you've got other priorities, but don't forget you can upgrade the corporate facility whenever you like. We're worth it, I promise.
It's wet here today, and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. It's 10 to the left and 10 to the right. I'm not talking about a line dance, I'm talking about the corners here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and turn 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6-mile track. But we may well see cars struggle to slow down here today as the wet weather interferes with the low-speed grip. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Webber, Joshua Pierce, and Vershaw, Behrman, Russell, Antonelli, and David Coulthard, Aaron, Albon, Felipe Massa, and Crawford, Sonoda, Martins, Taylor Barnard, and Lance Stroll, Doohan, Tramnitz, Tanitsa, and Isack Hadjar rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get...
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
With some luck, we might just be able to...
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying. And of course, the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time. It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
You're in first position, front of the pack. The fastest lap at the moment, 1 minute 31.3. And we're in front of Behrman, Barnard and Webber.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself, 14 miles southeast of the city centre, has been home to the US Grand Prix since 2012, the latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Isack Hadjar lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Coulthard, George Russell and Pierce, Behrman, Massa, Crawford and Richard Verschoor, Webber, Sonoda, Charles Leclerc and Antonelli, Albon, Aaron, Tim Tramnitz and Taylor Barnard, Doohan, Tanitsa, Martins and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves, big excitement, what?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Grumpy. Probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check, okay.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
What a day! He's dominated from start to finish, proving that once more Red Bull gives you wins, and it's a win for Isack Hadjar.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's points and a trip to the podium. And it's Isack Hadjar who triumphs today. He's claimed that top spot with an outstanding performance. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Hey, Chief. Just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.
Boss, need to make you aware of something. Another team has made an approach for one of the drivers we're talking to. It's hard to say how far it's gone, but if you're serious about signing them, I'd advise moving quickly. You can find more details in the driver contract screen. Well, it looks like we've been pipped to the post by another team. They've agreed to contract. It's all locked. Hopefully you weren't too set on them. I'm sorry it's not better news, but there are other options out there.
Hi. Notice we've got some spare cash reserves. Obviously, I know you've got other priorities, but don't forget you can upgrade the corporate facility whenever you like. We're worth it, I promise.
It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos? It's qualifying day here for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
We're seeing some good times set by drivers on intermediates. Box for inters. Here are the top 5 cars as things stand. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:21.1. Antonelli, Massa, Russell, Albon and Webber. I'm afraid we've dropped to P22. P22. They're on provisional pole. Right, their best lap, 1:21.1. Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights, for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if, of course, the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Isack Hadjar lines up on pole position, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Massa, Russell, Alex Albon, and Webber, Piastri, Tsunoda, Leclerc, and Lando Norris, Doohan, Aaron, Tim Tramnitz, and Behrman, Coulthard, Martins, Lance Stroll, Pierce, Barnard, Verschoor, Tanitsa, and Jack Crawford rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Interlagos, always one of my favourite weekends of the season. Love Brazil, adore this track.
Absolutely spot on, Crofty. I wish you could pick this circuit up and place it, copy-pasted on multiple different locations around the planet, because it is sensational to watch, sensational to drive. And for all these drivers here in Brazil, it's a great time to get stuck into this Interlagos circuit. It's an anti-clockwise track, lots of important corners to get right, and it's a track where...
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do, don't let me down. Don't currently have the data for that request. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap. Box this lap. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 3.1 seconds.
Copy that.
Okay, Andrea's coming in for his stop now. Okay, remember to pit this lap. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful. Okay, there seems to have been a problem removing the right front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us, and let's finish this race as strong as possible. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. Okay, Russell's ahead. Time last lap, 1:28.8. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 1.4 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are just one lap old. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
And it's victory today for Isack Hadjar.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. It's a long way to go.
It's what every driver imagines when they start out on their long road towards Formula One. And for our lucky 3 today, here's the podium waiting for them. And you've got to hand it to Isack Hadjar, head and shoulders above the rest today, and victory with another impressive performance. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Notice that it's been a while since we've had any upgrades to our facility. Don't forget, there's always things to improve.
Boss, need to make you aware of something. Another team has made an approach for one of the drivers we're talking to. It's hard to say how far it's gone, but if you're serious about signing them, I'd advise moving quickly. You can find more details in the driver contract screen.
Hey, Chief. Just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.